Friends, we've been talking about a healthy, happy home this week. And so today I want to talk about my top 5 tips for having a natural home. Come hang out with me. We're going to go through it all. With Heavenly Minded Home, and welcome back. Yes, we have videos that come out every single day, so be sure you turn on those little notifications so you see these videos when they come out. This week we're talking about just health and nutrition and all those really important details that having an awareness to and focusing on prioritizing in our lives is just such a foundation to healthy lives that we can all love and enjoy. Alrighty, I wasn't quick enough. Now everybody's back inside and my house is way too loud. So let's try this all over again. What I was trying to say, the importance of having a healthy home, right? Through our diet and our food choices, just so that our bodies can be healthy and ready to take on whatever it is the Lord puts in our lives, to our homes, that it can be a place that is healing our families versus a place that is stressful, out of control, and filled with things that are going to add up and not be good for our health in the long run. To me, when I talk about a healthy, natural home, that's what I mean. That's what I'm thinking about. I firmly believe that the Lord gave us everything we need in His creation to take care of ourselves. Now, I'm thankful for modern medicine. Of course, it has a place. He also gave us the minds and the ability to do many of the things that we do. But I always want to start with the natural solution. Always where I want to go to. So especially when you're dealing with chronic fatigue, you're dealing with headaches, you're dealing with gut issues, you're dealing with allergy, you're dealing with all these different things. A lot of it can be traced back to the very things in our home, right? Our diet, our daily things that we're running into. And so I always like to look to this. Now, I will preface this and say, I have kind of been all over the map on this, from one end of the spectrum to where I never even thought about this stuff. I kind of just used whatever, did whatever, to the other end of the spectrum where I only used everything completely natural. I made our shampoo, I made our body wash. I've been on both sides of the spectrum. Absolutely. I will say now we fall more in the middle. Well, I wish we could be all the way over here to a degree. My husband is very much like, oh my gosh, you're making me nuts. Can we please not be that far in the spectrum? And so we've kind of come to a healthy balance for our family, to where there are some things that we use, there are things that are total no-goes for us, and kind of finding that level. So don't think that you need to just totally flip the switch in order to make any of this work. I feel like these 5 tips I'm going to give you guys today are very doable, very realistic. I think they're very budget friendly. It really is a happy medium, especially if you're kind of just starting to realize, oh my gosh, is our home healing? Is it nourishing? Are we doing the things to help us? Or are we adding to the hindrance of our God-given, natural systems to do their job? So just a side note there, I will say that. That being said, let's go ahead and talk about tip number 1 for a healthy, natural home. Tip number 1 is open your windows. Oh my goodness. Like, of all the things you can do, I don't care where you live, what the temperature is, what the weather's like, open your windows. Let fresh air in. There have been so many studies done that show just how toxic the indoor air is of most homes. And I really think, thank you, Lord, yes, for air conditioning and heating and all of that. I live in the South, yes, amen to that. But there's something about never letting that fresh air get in, and you notice smells, and it just, you're breathing all of that in, the dust, all of the stuff that gets trapped in your home. Open up your windows. If it is really hot or it is really cold or whatever it may be, maybe you can only do it for a little bit. That's fine. That's totally understandable. There are times of the year where, for us, the windows aren't open very much. They get open a little bit and then that's kind of it. But I think especially first thing in the morning and then maybe in the evening for a little bit before you go to bed, open up the house. 10, 15 minutes, even get some cross breeze going, open up the house, let that fresh air come in. It will do wonders. I promise you. Open up your windows as much as you possibly can. Natural tip number 1. Natural home tip number 2 would be ditch one-time use products. This is going to help your budget, your pocketbook. I feel like it's just better overall, right? When you think of how much waste you're producing. We're all going to produce waste. There's a degree of that, yes. But then there's just the stuff you're buying, the stuff that you're using, the stuff that you're bringing in. There are toxicity levels in different things. It's just wasteful in so many ways. I'm talking paper plates, plastic utensils, paper towels. The only thing for us that we still do use is toilet paper. We never got into like the cloth thing that people do with that. We cloth diapered our babies. I used many things like that. We didn't do the toilet paper. For me, we do buy recycled, they make the toilet paper out of recycled paper. So you're, kind of, instead of adding to more deforestation, you're kind of using what's already in existence. We buy in bulk on Amazon. It is the best thing in the whole wide world. I will link it down below what we get. I love, like, once a quarter, we just order a big thing of toilet paper and we're good to go. But that's a side note. Ditch the one-time use products. Plastic baggies, all the plastic wrap, all the things like that you just keep using and trash and use and trash and use and trash. Getting rid of those is going to do wonders as far as cutting stuff out that is filled with just cheap, nasty chemicals, and then cut down how much waste you're creating and how much waste you have going out of your budget each month with paper towels, right? We used to go through paper towels like crazy. And there's a time and a place for paper towels, okay? I mean, there is. But for us, what we do is every year I will just buy some new hand towels, and we buy just the cheap packs of washcloths at like Walmart. They're always over in like the bath area. Get like a stack of them. They're folded up, usually have like a ribbon or something tying them together, and you pay like under $5 for a ton of them. I once or twice a year will get a new pack, and we use those for napkins. We use those as paper towels. I mean, we use those for everything. And so it really is funny to see. My family thought I was kind of crazy when we first did this, and now, years and years later, whenever we go to someone's house and there's just like a paper towel or a paper napkin, my husband's like, oh, it just doesn't absorb as much. Like it doesn't feel as like thorough, I guess. So for us, ditching those one-time use products is a great way here. We don't use plastic baggies. We don't use plastic wrap. We don't, very rarely, like if it's a birthday or if we're having a bunch of families come over, we'll pick up paper plates and plastic utensils, right? There is a time and a place when those things can be an asset, but otherwise, get rid of it. You're wasting your money. You're bringing in, all the chemicals and stuff, they're in all that. Just save yourself some time, get some reusable products. Much better deal there. That is natural home tip number 2. It opens up natural home tip number 3, and that is to limit plastics. Now, I know technically you could completely cut plastic out. There are some great ways to do it. Sometimes some of the stuff can be a little costly, and I'll be honest with you. Sometimes, depending on where I'm at in the spectrum, depends on how much money I have to go towards these things, because sometimes I don't have the money to go towards it. But limiting plastics, I think if you were to go through your home right now and gather all the things that are mainly plastic, you would be amazed at how much plastic you have in your life. And it doesn't take a scientist to look into what plastic is made out of. That is a lot of chemical compound in your home. So you think of the stuff that you're washing with, you're eating off of, you're storing your stuff in. That is a lot of contact with a lot of gnarly chemicals that I know for me, I just don't feel comfortable with that level of yuckiness. The more you learn into it, you're like, ew, that's disgusting. I heat my food up in that? That's gross, And so I think going through and limiting the plastic in your home, finding more sustainable plastic type products if you still need something. Switching over to glass is wonderful. I love storing stuff in glass. I like it so much better. For us, we completely got rid of our microwave. We don't use any of that. So having glass that we could put in the oven to heat stuff up, it kind of all just worked hand in hand. You can do things like when you buy certain foods, only buy things that come in glass containers. So yay, it's in glass. And then when you're done using it, you can wash that container out, use that for Tupperware or whatever it is that you need to use it for. We got rid of things like plastic cups, and instead I buy mason jars. I have found that so many glasses out there, no matter how much I was spending on them, they would just break all the time, and it drove me crazy. And so we all have the like aluminum reusable water bottles, and then we have mason jars that I buy usually a couple times a year. I'll just buy a flat of mason jars, and that's what we have for our drinking glasses. They're much hardier. I also have lids for them, so I can use them as containers if I need to save something. They last a lot longer. They're a lot cheaper. It works great. So limiting your plastics in your home is a great way to really start just being aware of what chemicals that you're bringing into your home and your family systems, and making those switches really can be so simple. That is natural home tip number 3. Tip number 4 would be to simplify your cleaners. Now, there is no shortage of cleaning products in our world today, okay? And there's a time and a place for certain ones. For us, we have horribly hard water. No matter what natural home trick I've tried, and I promise you I've tried them all, it doesn't work on our showers. It just doesn't. Our showers turn green and it's such a pain. Barkeeper's friend, done deal. I get the kind that comes in a spray bottle. I spray down my shower. I walk away. I come back and rinse it off, and it is pristine, okay? There's a time and a place for certain things. Yes, absolutely. I also like to buy things that smell good. I'll be honest, I like to have that yummy smell. But there's many ways that you can simplify your cleaners. And if there is something that you want to have, you can find something that's a good, healthy compromise, right? There are many brands out there now that kind of give you that benefit of like, it smells good without all of the harsh chemicals that are in the common products today. Vinegar is a powerhouse. Baking soda is a powerhouse. Hydrogen peroxide, powerhouse. All of those things are amazing. Rubbing alcohol. There's so many natural things that are amazing when it comes to your cleaning products. Really, if you keep vinegar and baking soda on hand, you can pretty much clean everything. Like that's it, done deal. It works really, really well. There's also amazing thing like e-cloths. They're like an affordable Norwex. I'll link them down below. I love these cloths. You can use just water and clean everything, literally picking up all the germs and bacteria and stuff that exists with just water when using these high density microfiber cloths. That's another way to do it. And so when you really look at the cleaners that you have, you don't need to have 50 bajillion different cleaners for every single thing. You can keep it simple. You can keep it straightforward without all the chemicals, all the junk that you're inhaling, you're spreading all over your surfaces, everybody's then picking up. You don't have to be going through all of that. And so there are a dime a dozen out there on the internet, videos, the whole nine of simple, natural home cleaner remedies. Like I said, order some e-cloths and never buy another product again. You can do that too. For us, I usually keep a couple products that smell yummy. I love my Mrs. Meyer's spray, and I love the Safely brand at Walmart. They smell delicious. Now, I don't use them every time I clean. I use them when I'm kind of doing my like general overall, I kind of want that satisfaction of it smells good, but that's it. I don't use them every time. Vinegar, baking soda, hydrogen peroxide, rubbing alcohol, some combination thereof. Those are the 4 staples we always keep at home, and depending on what I'm cleaning, I'll use that. Special things call for special measures. I understand that. Like I said, I use Barkeeper's Friend in our showers, and to clean the air fryer, I did just get a thing of greased lightning. I showed that in our home reset. You guys can watch that up here. I did try that greased lightning to see how well it cleaned out my air fryer because it was kind of driving me crazy and some dish soap wasn't seeming to like get it as well as I wanted to. I think I like it. I'm not 100% yet, but I think I like it. But again, time and a place for specific things that, okay, maybe that could use a little extra. Otherwise, keep it simple, keep it natural. Don't fill your home with, there's so many chemicals in that stuff. You think you're cleaning, but really you're just adding toxicity into your home. We don't want to be doing that. So simple cleaners, that is natural home tip number 4. The natural home tip here that I have for you guys, this should be simple. Think back to elementary school when we would do these things, but reduce, reuse, recycle. You want to talk about being conscious of what's in your home, what you're having to budget for, what you're using. Reduce, reuse, recycle. I think pausing to say, hey, do I really need all of this? Do I need all the different cleaners? Do I need all the different kitchen gadgets? Do I need? Reduce the amount of things that you are consuming every month, right? Do you really need all of that? Reuse, that's my favorite one. We reuse things until they cannot be reused anymore. Like, I will wear something down to its final thread before we say, okay, it's time for something else. Think about what you have. Does it need to be replaced? Can you repurpose it? Can you reuse it in some different way? And then recycling. I know for us, I prefer to go to a thrift store. If we need something, some sort of home something or rather, I prefer to go to a thrift store and look for something old, you know? I want to find something built, you know, from the 70s, the 80s even, you know, when things used to be made out of real materials, real wood, actual metal. And so for us, I found cast iron pans. I have found great, you know, good thick glass containers that I can use in our home, different pieces of furniture, you know, whatever. And so I like to go and find something and recycle it, give it new life and bring it in versus just going to a big box store or hopping on Amazon and getting some level of junk. There's a time and a place for those, yes, but when it comes to a lot of these kind of core items that we need for our home, I have found time and time again that a thrift store wins over anything else to give us a good quality piece that's usually going to be better for you as well. It's going to last longer, it's going to be sturdier, and it's not necessarily filled with as much garbage, plastic nonsense that we have today. Of course, obviously, if it's old with like lead paint or something like that, you want to address that. But for the common everyday things, you're usually going to find a better deal when you go and you reuse, repurpose, recycle something from a thrift store and go ahead and use it in your home today. Friends, those would be my top 5 natural home tips that we implement in our home. Now, again, sometimes we do really great with things, sometimes we don't. Don't beat yourself up. For me, I was really worried about only using these like expensive natural laundry detergents and making my own and doing all of this, and it drove my husband crazy. He hates it when laundry doesn't come out smelling good. And I tried all of the natural ways to do it, and he was not a fan. So one of the places that for our marriage we conceded on is we came to an agreement of which laundry soap we would be using, and that's what we'll do, and it's all going to be okay. I still use vinegar and baking soda and different things, but we came to that agreement. Don't beat yourself up. Don't think that you have to be completely to one end of the spectrum in order for you to be doing a good job and looking out for your family. I think just being aware of what we have in our homes, right? Is it truly nourishing us and aiding in our healing, or are we just dumping things in and causing some of these problems? Again, there's so many things like chronic fatigue, headaches, allergies. There's so many of these things that are deeply connected to the very air that we breathe in our home, the products that we use, the things that we eat, you know, everything is interconnected. And so just don't get overwhelmed, but just to pause and look around and say, okay, what are some simple things that I can start doing today that are going to help us? We're going to be better stewards of our resources. We're not going to be so wasteful. We're going to be making good decisions and making decisions for things that are going to aid in that nourishment of ourselves here in our homes. So I pray that that can be an encouragement for you guys. Do you have any tips? What would you have added to your top 5 list for a natural home? Be sure to leave me a comment down below. If you guys want a little something extra to watch, I think you should check out this video right here. I think you're gonna love it. Before you leave, tap that subscribe button and turn on those bell notifications. Tomorrow we have a very special video coming out. You guys aren't gonna wanna miss it. It's gonna be fantastic. And then we will continue this theme of a natural, healthy home all week long. See you guys tomorrow. Bye, friends.